they put me on a bus to the Oakland airport. At the time, the Oakland airport had a contract with ICE where they were deporting people from the Oakland airport. However, they didn't want the public to know, right? So what happened was they were putting us in the bus, they were taking us to the airport. We were bypassing all the security, all the public. They were doing it in the middle of the night so that the public wouldn't see. And they were loading us up into a plane all shackled up. And they flew us to San Diego. Once we got to San Diego, they put us on a bus. And I remember the immigration officers, they were kind of making fun of our situation. They put on the radio and they put on Vicente Fernandez, in Spanish. And they put it on full blast. They started bumping it and they told us, you know what, get used to it. This is pretty much all you're going to hear from now on. And they were kind of laughing about it, and yeah, I remember getting to right here to the border in San Isidro, Tijuana border. They handed us over to Mexican immigration. When Mexican immigration started to process us, when it was my turn, I remember I still had my prison bracelet on my wrist, and they flipped out and they started screaming. They started screaming at the California Border Patrols, and they were telling them, rip that, they started cussing, but they were like, rip that thing off of him. He's not a cow, he's not a cattle or something, you bring him in here like he's branded or something. Yeah, they're really upset by that, and they started calling me compatriota, welcome, and telling me things like welcome back. So even though it was like bittersweet coming back to Mexico, they actually did their best to make me feel welcomed,